Okay, so thanks for coming this evening. I'm delighted to see so many people here this evening. Not all of them are in the class either, which is great. So here you all are, with your own free will. It's my tremendous pleasure to introduce Jeroen Witvliet, who will be teaching at V.I.S.A on a workshop basis very soon, and then in more long-term engagement in the fall. So it's a great delight for us. I was aware myself of Jeroen's work through seeing his work at the Art Gallery of Greater Victoria, and as I understand as well, where else in Victoria? It was also
Fran Willis.
Fran Willis, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I loved it.
Thank you.
So this is great. Jeroen went through the MPhil program at Emily Carr, and also recently came back from doing graduate work at the London Community Academy in Rotterdam. He's represented in Vancouver by the Crystal Gallery, and is also shown at the Saint Laurent Gallery in Ottawa.
Yes.
Yes. And also works with the Romandos Gallery in Amsterdam and Rotterdam. So those are my facts. Thank you very much.
I think the best thing to do is just, turn off the lights.
Okay.
I'll just go through some of the paintings of the last 5 years. It's a bit of variety. I'll probably start answering questions after, since I feel like I'm basically a visual artist and the visuals should speak for themselves, or at least stimulate conversation and dialogue. So we'll just start looking at some pictures. I'll give some notes on sizes and materials. This is a painting out of a series which is called the After Image series. It's an oil. It's 12 by 12 inches. This is a painting called Epilogue, which is based on the Victoria Airport. I'm really drawn to the abstract qualities of the runways, and at the same time airports have become harbours of immigration. It used to be the piers back east. Airports seem to be the new harbours, so I was quite intrigued by that. I'm doing a series right now based on just people dying, and it's unclear if they died because of violent events or if they're just resting. I'm not quite sure where this series is going, but I'm just experimenting with it. This is acrylic on wood. It's a fairly small piece. It's about 6 by 13, 14 inches. In response to the stories about the women missing in Vancouver, I did a series called Missing. I started off with painting holes in the ground and make them fairly obscure so I don't really recognize that, and then use the quality of the paint to kind of put a DNA down, the DNA of the paint, which also refers to the DNA of these women. This is a fairly small piece, about 16 by 24 inches. My work differs quite a bit in technique, depending on the ideas I have. I was quite intrigued by the film Stalker by Tarkovsky. I started doing a series based on scenes in that film where people walk through a field. The qualities of that field really intrigued me, and I started to look at how I look at fields around here, and putting objects in which are quite kind of mysterious, and they might be hiding something from the viewer. This piece is 4 by 8 feet, so they're a bit larger, and you kind of have to scan over it when you stand in front of it, a bit like a horizon. It's quite aggressively painted, and these are marine enamels, car enamels, and oil paints mixed together and scraped away on wood. I did a series where I collected images from newspapers for 1 day and took out all the text around it and replaced it with color, just to make a nice, pretty design. Questioning if people are looking at the images in the newspaper and a week later still remember what they've been looking at, or if they actually question that image later, and what happens when you translate that into a painting. Are you looking at the qualities of the paint, or are you thinking about the original story behind it? So I had a show in Vancouver with this work. They're all really small. This is about 8 by 10 inches, and oil. And it was just one day. I collected a whole bunch of images and then went through them, which one spoke to me. This is a larger piece. I think it's 4 by 6 feet. I've been working a lot with architectural spaces, investigating how we respond to space. I happened to be in New York in September 2001, and I think I was quite intrigued previously by structures, how they're built and how they're constructed to maintain people within themselves. After that, I changed my thinking about them and saw them more as a social structure with different levels, with a certain hierarchy attached to it, especially when it comes to office buildings. So kind of started to experiment with that. The little figure which is in there is based on a sculpture I saw in Europe, and it's called the Dragon Slayer. It's the story of St. Joris, who went out, I think, to face his fears, which morphed into becoming a dragon, which he managed in overcoming. But the sculpture was very tired looking. It wasn't very heroic. He has the sword in his hand, almost dropping out. He's just very tired. It's kind of different than the very heroic images of sculptures I was used to see. So I've been using that a lot in my paintings as well. And this is alkyds in oil. It's quite heavily built up. You can see it here, but there's quite a bit of material on it. This is out of a series which is actually 80 feet long. And all the panels are linked to each other. So this is one panel, which is 2 by 8 feet. And there's 10 panels in total, which just slide against each other, and you kind of have to walk through the room in which they're presented, almost like a storyboard. And there's a lot of different materials on these paintings. This is oil and marine enamels. Some are drawings, and I think there might be some other examples as well. This is another one of the airport ones. It's 80 by 80 inches, so quite large, and it's seen from above, from a satellite image. Also dealing with the immigration process. I kind of like the abstract qualities of it as well. These are all marine enamels. This is actually a self-portrait called Rain on My Parade. It's yeah, those days. It's 4 by 8 feet, so it's fairly large. It's me almost life size. Actually a little bit smaller still, but a lot of materials on it. It's based on the Dead Toreador by Manet painting. That painting, actually, we know it as the Dead Toreador, but it used to be a larger painting out of which the Dead Toreador was cut. And I kind of feel that I immigrated in '96 to Canada, so I kind of feel like I've been separated from my roots, and the painting kind of had that feeling for me as well. So I've been using the Dead Toreador painting quite a lot in my work. This is lots of oils, very chemical mixtures of paint thrown on there, worked in, and I think the base used to be acrylic, but it's kind of disappeared under all the other stuff. This is another one of the buildings called the Architects. On the bottom there's the outline of 4 people standing there. It's actually me and 3 people at an opening I had in Amsterdam one year. And I've been using that imagery as well. It's not necessarily referring to architects who build buildings, but also the architects of our society. And we're the architects of our own life to a certain degree, so it kind of deals with that information. It's a 3-panel painting where the white is actually the wall behind it. I left that panel out, so it's definitely not finished. It creates a different shape, which I find quite intriguing. There's a lot of different symbolism in there. There's burning flags in there, there's trees growing on one side of the building, there's water, which for me shows reflections, not just a reflection of the building, but it has reflective qualities, which I find quite interesting. And this one is, I think, 72 inches by 72 inches, minus the missing panel.